We're back with Alden Chodash of AldenBoxing.com. This past weekend, Alden, it was Shane Mosley with a very late stoppage of Ricardo Mayorga. Things started off ugly, but Mosley got in his rhythm and was eventually able to stop the Nicaraguan. What do you think of Mosley's performance?
Well, obviously, he had a shaky start against Mayorga, and others can testify to that. Fighters on the level of Felix Trinidad, and not so much De La Hoya, but De La Hoya did have moments where he was a little frustrated, possibly with Mayorga's unorthodox style, and that's really the key, especially for someone that has ring rust. Mayorga's unorthodox style can throw you off in spurts, but the main thing is that Mosley figured him out and ended the fight in spectacular fashion.
Did you see ring rust on Mosley's part?
He could have, if he had ring rust, he could have possibly hit it a little better against a different opponent, but really, Mosley, I can't remember any fighter that Mosley fought, or can't remember any fighter that anybody's ever fought like Ricardo Mayorga. He's one of a kind, so it possibly wasn't even ring rust, probably just the style of Mayorga, but if he did have ring rust, that Mayorga's style would frustrate him as it did.
And bring it out. You think Mosley's entitled to Antonio Margarito now?
Yeah, he's proven that he's one of the best in the world, and although he's not been fighting the best 147-pounders in the world and not technically obligated to that kind of fight, his status alone probably deserves him a fight of that magnitude.
Okay. Also on that card, Andre Berto. He defeated Steve Forbes. First of all, it was Berto's toughest opponent, no?
Yeah, it was definitely his toughest opponent, but obviously opposition's going to steadily increase. Steve Forbes just didn't have the charisma to test Andre Berto. He's not as enthusiastic as he once was, and probably not as strong as he could have been to really get Berto to respect him. But he's definitely the most skilled fighter Berto's going to be in with, and may be in with for a little while. He's a very skilled, crafty fighter, and Berto could learn a lot from that fight, but he's yet to be seriously tested.
If you were Berto's manager, who would you go up against next? Zab Judah, Kermit Cintron, anybody else come to mind?
Probably Joshua Clottey would be the most challenging fight for Berto. I'm not sure if they're going to take that fight immediately, but if they want an opponent that's going to test them, that's in there to win, and even the match, I think Joshua Clottey would be the guy.
Okay. This coming week on Telefutura, Friday night, undefeated Mike Alvarado. He faces Manuel Garnica. Who do you think will have the upper hand there?
Well, I haven't seen anything of Alvarado. All I know about the matchup is that Manuel Garnica is a spoiler, but is not a very gifted one, so it's just a fight to see.
Okay. And of course on Saturday, HBO, Yuriorkis Gamboa versus undefeated Marcos Ramirez. Should Gamboa have any trouble with his opponent?
No, not when you consider that Marcos Ramirez struggled and very controversially beat Alden de Jesus, in which Gamboa blasted in 6 rounds in one of his first professional fights over a year ago, and I don't know why he's been this inactive, especially for an unbeaten fighter. But
you're talking about Ramirez?
Marcos Ramirez, yeah, exactly. But also he has that ring rust, and he's probably not too gifted to begin with. So
should have no trouble, Gamboa?
No, definitely not.
Okay, Zerkan Angulo, what do you like there?
It's really a pick-em kind of fight. You'd have to go with the better in-fighter, so to speak. Both fighters like to punish their opponents, and both fighters are known as very durable fighters. And probably the upper hand you'd have to give to Alfredo Angulo, because he's somewhat of a more skilled in-fighter, but he has been hurt against Richard Gutierrez, so a puncher like Andre Zerkan could definitely test him.
Okay. And finally, HBO on Saturday, Alex Bonima, who's turned his career around in a big way since loss to Robert Camia. Bonima versus Sergio Martinez, whose only loss came to Antonio Margarito. Bonima, Martinez, what should we look for in that fight?
Well, first of all, the question of whether the 43-1 record for Martinez isn't misleading is he really a player in the 154 154-pound division, and Alex Bonima was his victory over Roman Karmazin just a fluke. Really, the only thing I've seen of Sergio Martinez was a tune-up fight. I know that he's a southpaw. I know that he's a very good all-around fighter. He's experienced, and he probably has a little bit of a punch. It's a very evenly matched fight, and it's just a fight I like to see.
Okay. Also this weekend, Arthur Abraham, Raul Marquez in Germany. Abraham should win?
Yeah, he's the more skilled fighter in there, and he's younger, and therefore should win, but Marquez's experience should last him the distance.
Okay, a fight just announced December 6th, somewhere down the line, but wanted to hear your views. Super middleweight matchup, Carl Fruck, Jean Pascal.
Yeah,
Who do you think has the edge there?
that's a very good matchup. I'd probably have to be inclined to give the edge to Carl Fruck because he seems to take a punch better. Both guys are a little bit sloppy with their attack, not very skilled fighters. Both have went the distance before. And probably Pascal has better skill, but based on the fact that he was hurt badly against a journeyman and uninspired one, whose name I forgot. I've seen that fight, by the way, but he was hurt badly, and that's all the reason to imply that he will have a lot of difficulty against the big punching Carl Fruck.
Okay, last question. We only have a few seconds left. Bernard Hopkins, Kelly Pavlik. In one sentence, why are you telling me that Bernard Hopkins is going to win that fight?
If he wins the fight, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be because of his experience and because Kelly Pavlik doesn't have experience on that level against a fighter like Hopkins. And really, who does? But Kelly Pavlik, unfortunately, I think he's being rushed.
Okay. Thanks, Alden, for talking to us. Remember to check out aldenboxing.com and fightfan.com for more information. Bye-bye.